Martin and Neil, welcome to the football show. I'm absolutely delighted to get the chance to chat to you. And first of all, I've got to say, congratulations, you guys have made it to the European Championships. And as you know, you can see the sincerity oozing out of me.
Yeah, commiserations to you then as well. I always said that we would do it, despite what you told me in was it November of last year? Yeah. Anyway, we made it. Tough in Scotland, obviously, and I'm not saying that with a great deal of sincerity either. But well, it probably boiled down to one of the two of us, because Germany were always going to be the strong team in the group, and that even though that they might have a hiccup or two along the way, that they would eventually come through as world champions do. And I thought that Poland were quite strong. I also thought that I was naturally concerned about Scotland. Good renaissance under Gordon, and Georgia were still a worry because the talented players as they have, as you would know from, or I would know from my days at Celtic when they had a host of them playing for Dundee. And so they could play a wee bit. They were the sort of the dark horses of the group, and they never really got off to a great start and always had a lot of ground to cover. Anyway, despite the hiccups we had ourselves, including that defeat at Celtic Park way back last November, and the draw in Dublin, we finally won through.
Yeah. Were you worried at the point of the game at Celtic Park, or from subsequent press conferences you seemed adamant? Did you have to convince your players, look, we're still in this you're not out of it?
No, I think there was a lot said at that particular time. No, the answer is, number one, that's an interesting point you make about Celtic Park. I really did not want the game played at Celtic Park because I knew it was going to be atmospheric. And this idea, because I had managed at Celtic, that suddenly that some Scottish fan was actually going to change allegiance, it was just nonsense. And I believe, and I think that Hampden, played at Hampden, would be less atmospheric than that evening. So. So I'd never really wanted the game to be played at Celtic Park for all the reasons I've just mentioned. So there was a great atmosphere that night, obviously by the mainstay being the Scottish fans. They gave Aidan McGeady a little bit of stick as well too, and so things worked for Scotland. They got the late goal, or 76, 77 minutes. We hit the post in the last moment, or hit the crossbar, but I didn't think any of the two teams created a great deal in the game. But I never felt after 4 matches in the competition that this was a moment to absolutely panic.
And yet I was in your company and you mentioned you had a sneaky feeling that Georgia was going to be a problem.
That sneaky feeling wasn't just, that's over years and years of experience. Yeah. That just didn't just crop up, or that didn't something that gave me comfort or anything like that. I know how difficult winning football matches are. I know how difficult away games are. And it doesn't matter whether you're playing at club level or international level. We won in Georgia. Aidan McGeady scored a fantastic winning goal for us when it looked as if the game was heading for a draw. And those 2 extra points became as important to us as, let's say, the win against Germany, or let's say the draw in Germany. All the points mount up at the end of the day. What I thought in June was that there's no doubt by that evening, when the draw had taken place, that the game had ended in a draw in the Aviva Stadium, we were in the back foot, but never out of it. I never felt we were out of it. We were 2 points behind Scotland. They had the better head-to-head, so effectively probably 3 points that we had to make up. I never felt that was insurmountable because in effect, we were still playing. We still had tough games to play. Each nation had, and I thought that we could still do it. It probably meant that we would have to take 9 or 10 points in the last 4 games. As it turns out, we took 9, but I never felt we were out of it. And that just wasn't bravado. That was just, I felt that the games were still tough.
And you mentioned there you were drawing on all your experience. Did you have to draw on all your experience to convince your own players, look, this is going to map out this way, you need to believe?
Yeah, I think there was an element of that, yes. I don't think the players ever really lost belief in the game. I think we were disappointed. Disappointed to lose the late goal, obviously in November time, to lose the match. And certainly disappointed that the outcome of the game where I thought we had by miles the better of the first half against Scotland in the Aviva Stadium. We maybe could have gone 2-0 in front. I don't think that Scotland could have complained. Then Scotland got the early second half goal, rocked us completely. And I felt then the next 10 or 15 minutes belonged to Scotland as they started to gain a bit of momentum, as you would expect, having just scored a goal. And then I thought it levelled itself out towards the end. So we were disappointed in the sense that we didn't create enough in the second half. One great chance that Marshall's made a great save from Murphy. Outside that there, I can't remember anything happening at either end. And so, yes, we left the more disappointed team because I would have felt if we had had the head-to-head advantage and a couple of points clear, I'd have been feeling a lot better about it, but it was never over.
I think the Germany result, in a way, may well have galvanised you guys, but it seemed to knock the stuffing out of us as well.
Well, yeah, by that time it was obviously getting very, very, very tight. You had been beaten by Germany. I say you. Hopefully you will allow me to say that. Had been beaten by Germany in the game before that, and we had won a very, very tight game against Georgia. And so you were going into the match against Poland. I still felt that you could get a result, and I know by that stage that we still had to match Scotland's result. Our match was still quite difficult because it was within your grasp probably that you could beat Poland or even get a draw against them. And there's a fairly decent chance that most critics would have thought that, well, Germany will probably beat us anyway. So you possibly, even with 2 games to go, might even have been going in as still slight favourites to go into either a winning second position or certainly at least a playoff. But the win against Germany, as you say, it scuppered you.
We are now in a state where you know only too well when we suffer again of not making major championships, we start to look at our whole game, question the foundations, question everything. Are you surprised by that, or do you think Scotland needs to take a look at itself? Because without being disparaging to your players, you have a team of real hard workers who play almost the way you demand players, that they may not be world-class stars, but they're a team.
Well, I don't think it's my position really to really evaluate Scotland's position. Really, I think that Gordon can do that quite eloquently himself. And sometimes there are knee-jerk reactions to things. I mean, for instance, if you talk about how tight the groups are and how the dividing line between success or failure is so tight, as we've often known throughout our sporting careers. The point is that at one stage in the game, when Scotland had gone 2-1 in front against Poland, and that we were still 0-0 against Germany, albeit for a period of maybe 7 or 8 minutes, something that I wasn't aware of at the time, I must admit, that actually you were effectively through and that we might have been the ones asking questions about ourselves. So it is that tight. Our results against Germany were, I have to say this, fantastic. We've beaten the world champions on our own ground, and a great evening for us. And we drew with them in Gelsenkirchen as well too, away from home. And that's fantastic results for us. So it would have been really disappointing for us not to have come through having had those results. But it's what happens over the 10 matches. We got through. I think that Scotland play a fine game. I think that we all, ourselves included, would like I think that we'd all like to be able to find someone who can find the net more often than we do. And we've got an older Robbie Keane. If Robbie Keane was 27 years of age, I'd be absolutely delighted. But life is passing on, and while he's been a fantastic captain for us, we're looking for another Robbie Keane to come up and score goals on a regular basis. Scotland might feel the same, that a nice build-up play, maybe need a few goals, although I think Fletcher's a very fine player. But it's easy from this side of the table at this moment to go and say all meaningless things that don't really matter. everybody has to look at themselves when qualification hasn't been made. I think that's a natural process anyway, but it looks as if Scotland are in the right lines.
There's more from Martin O'Neill. We'll be talking about Scotland, the great players of the past, and what we have to do in the future to try and qualify for a major tournament. We'll also be talking about Celtic and club management. It's all coming up on this football special with Martin O'Neill right after this quick break. From your own perspective, you're now looking forward to a European Championships with a great bunch of lads. Do you have any great expectations, ambitions to try and match what everybody in history has gone before in Republic of Ireland? I can look back in countless fantastic games and tournaments.
Well, I went to the draw there just recently, and I must admit, I thought that I would go there in a relaxed mood because we had actually qualified for the competition. By the time the draw was made, you could have carried me out. I mean, we were effectively in Belgium, Italy. Italy should really be in a pot one. I mean, who's kidding yourself? They should be in pot one, and we've got Sweden who know their way about competitions. So it was a difficult draw. Of course, you're doing a couple of interviews in the immediate aftermath of this draw, and then, I mean, it's very hard to be massively upbeat. But by the time it was over, it's a wee bit like, if I can draw some analogy about as a club manager, where you've just got news on a Friday about a couple of your best players being unavailable because they haven't made, they've been injured during the week and haven't been able to make it. You curse your luck for a minute or two, and then you get on with it. And we're still looking forward to it. The games are tough, but we're there. We're delighted to be there. But I don't think come the time that we just want to go and make up numbers. And while anything can happen, let us go there in a very positive frame of mind. Let's know everything we can about the opposition, which you expect, and let's go and know as much about ourselves as possible as well.
You mentioned it's maybe not your place to evaluate Scotland and their current predicament.
I know it isn't, and that's the point. It isn't my position, no.
It is your position, though, to
Absolutely.
evaluate the Republic of Ireland, which is great.
Yes, absolutely. I thought you might ask me that.
Did you have a big? Was it a big sell from the Republic of Ireland? Did you feel there was enough talent there? What have you got right in the Republic of Ireland?
Well, I didn't. I don't know about those things. If you're asking me about the job a couple of years ago, Mr. Trapattoni left the job, and I think had done wonderfully well. Had qualified for the Euros in Poland. Things didn't go all that brilliantly there, and then perhaps maybe that disappointment fell into the World Cup campaign. So when I took the job on, number one, I think there was some reference to the fact that I hesitated about it. My hesitation was only in moving from club management, the possibility of going back into club management or international management with all the things that go with international management. You know, the fewer games that you play, the time that you have in between matches, either to evaluate things, as we talked about before, and it's something that was going to be new to me. That was, but actually taking on the Republic of Ireland job was not a moment of hesitation. It's a genuine honour to be manager of the Republic, and I'm delighted with it. Naturally, I'm delighted with it because we've actually got through, and there's been a type of vindication of I think of the board, of the FAI board, of putting me in charge of the side to try and restore a bit of confidence to the team. And obviously try and qualify for the Euros, which we've done. And
as you know, it's a results-driven business, and you like to focus on your team. Have you got is the structure right in Ireland that we could maybe take a leaf out of your guys' book, because you seem to have a lot of players that, well, we mentioned that everybody would love a world-class 1, 2, 3 players, but you've got a lot of players playing at a good level.
First of all, you asked about taking a leaf out of someone else's book, if that's the case. What I feel here is that at grassroots level, I've seen here as I come over and work here, that there's a genuine attempt to try and get the young players playing, enjoying it, and actually improving their skills. I think that's very, very important. So that you would like to think, and maybe let's say not the next generation, but the generation after that, that a group of Irish players can step onto any pitch, either in European football or world level, and actually can feel as if they can pass the ball, manoeuvre the ball, and be as comfortable with it as the opposition generally are. That's one. But not to lose that great Irish spirit as well. We've got a couple of very, very, very good players that would grace any soccer field at all in European football, and that's great to have, as I think that Scotland have as well. But you have to be imbued with that sort of spirit, and we've got a very good spirit, which will take you a distance. It doesn't take you everywhere, but it does help in moments of crisis. And we have. I think that the one thing I think I've restored confidence to the side, and I think I've given them a bit of belief that they feel as if they can compete. I think I've done that. I'm not saying that the German result proves everything, but it's a kind of a marker that suggests that we're trying to do something.
And you look at the home nations. England obviously will feel they can go to the latter stages.
Yeah.
But how great is it for you to be the manager of the Republic of Ireland, and Northern Ireland have made it too?
Well, I think that Michael O'Neill, my namesake, has done wonderfully well. They've come out of that group. They started off and got off to a really good start to give them confidence, and have kept it going. And well done him. And any time that I've been asked at interview stage, yes, I have praised him to the high heavens, because he's done very, very well indeed. I was a member of the Northern Ireland side in 1982 when we went to the World Cup in Spain, beat the host nation. Still one of the great, great nights of my footballing life. And for Ireland now, for the north of Ireland to go now and join us, or should I say we're joining them because they got there before us, it is really terrific for the country.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm looking at it, those great names roll off the tongue. I'm sure Michael will feel the weight of expectation as well. You know, when you think about it, Billy Hamilton, Norman Whiteside, Jerry Armstrong, yourself, just
I agree. Yeah, I saw Michael at the draw, and I think they were carrying him out in a stretcher as well too. You know, so and he's got Germany and Poland. And funnily enough, I was asked beforehand who would we not want to get, and I said Germany and Poland. And the reason being is that we'd already played them. We had played them, and you wanted to change it round. So what happens? Michael gets them. And I think that they've also got Germany in the World Cup as well. So good luck there, mate, if that's the case. And just to compound issues, they've got a very decent Ukraine side to play against as well. So it's tough. So we were commiserating with each other there for a little time. I pulled Michael off the floor after about 20 minutes, straightened him up again, brushed him down, said, listen, let's get on with it. Let's go and enjoy it.
I love the fact that you mentioned there about, Republic of Ireland players coming up, work on their skills. You know, you played with a guy that, we took for granted, a John Robertson, but he worked in his skills. He was a genius. We'd love one John Robertson these days.
John is, I'm delighted that you give me the opportunity to speak about John. He was a teammate for quite a number of years, a brilliant, brilliant player, and I must admit he'll take this in the best possible way. But when Brian Clough arrived at the City Ground, John was essentially a centre midfield player. Couldn't get the ball to save his life, but could he pass it either foot all over the pitch? And if you'd said to me then that actually in a couple of years' time that Nottingham Forest are going to win their second European Cup and John Robertson is going to be the scourge of Europe from outside left, well, I would have taken you away and dropped you in some loony bin. But marvellous player, absolutely fantastic, and he and I, as manager and assistant manager, went up to Celtic, which he still feels is one of the great times of his life, and I'm delighted to hear that. And I met him the other day there. He's in very, very good form, and just a great player. And I'm delighted you give me that opportunity.
Of course, there's now a movie out. Has it changed you guys?
Well, I'm because the movie came out and the premiere of the movie came out. I Believe in Miracles, I think it is that I was with the Republica team, and I think it was in Poland the day that all the lads got together. At this moment, I haven't even seen it yet. You would think that they would have sent me a DVD by now, you know. Considering I was a contributor to the film in some sort of capacity, and if nothing, if only to talk about John Robertson. And great days, absolutely great days, and I suppose, like everything else, something to look back on, and obviously with great fondness.